I want to introduce the wooden pieces that we have in Handwriting Without Tears. So I'm using my document camera, and we're going to look at the letters, and we're going to use Matman's pieces. We've worked with Matman. Here's his body, and here I have some wooden pieces. Now in my wooden piece set, I have big curves, I have little curves, I have long lines, and I have little lines. Now, remember, all our letters are going to start at the top. Here is my long line. It's going to start right here with the smiley faces. So this is a frog jump letter. So every time I build a letter with my frog jump letters, I am going to start at the top, and it is going to be a straight long line. All our frog jump letters start with a straight long line. So I'm going to take these pieces out. And the letters we're going to build today are B, R, M, and N. So we're going to start with the B. Here's my B, my bouncing B that goes with the boot and bear. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Here's my B here. Here's my boot. And here's my wet, dry, try B. So I'm going to flip this over, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to make it. We're going to look at it. So I have one long line and two little curves. So I'm going to need to take out one long line and two curves. So I have my long line. I'm going to put one curve here and one curve here. And look at that. I have the letter B. So I have made the letter B, just like this B, with my wooden pieces. So back this up so we can see it. There we go. All right. You know what? I'm actually going to get this crate to put up. There we go. Now we can really see what Mrs. B is doing here. Okay, so I just made the B. Now I'm going to make the R. And the R is really simple because the R looks just like the B. It starts with a long line. It has a little curve, but it doesn't have a little curve here. It doesn't have two curves. It has a little line. So I'm going to take my little line and put it right here. And there's my R. And R is like the car is, and I have a rake here. So if I flip it over, I can see my R and my R, my rake and my rake. These words say rainbow, rake, rose. They all start with R. And here's my R on my wet try board. Wet, dry, try board. Now we're going to make this letter first. Now remember, these are all frog jump letters, so they're all starting with that long line. So now I have to get rid of the curve and the little line, and I'm going to need two more long lines because N is one long line with two more. One long line with two more. But my middle line is a diagonal line, so it's got a slant. So there we go. I'm going to slant that line, and then I have another straight line. So I have three long lines. One line goes down, I jump up, I make it slant, and then I jump up and I come back down. So there's my N, and that's for newspaper. I'm going to flip it over. I can see my N here and my N here. I see newspaper, newspaper. I have a nose and a nest. And I see my N here and I see my N here. Now my next letter is just like the one before. But instead of three long lines, I need four long lines. And this gets tricky because these are a lot of lines to fit on a little blue mat. So Mrs. B, what she has to do is she has to connect the top up here and slant it down, then slant it up, and then come straight down. So here we go. This is how I make the letter M. It's one long line down with three more. And I have mouse to go with this. So I have my M here and my M here. I have a mouse and a mouse. But I also have a moon and a mop. And they start with M. And here's my M here and my M here. So this is just a quick lesson to show you the wooden pieces that we have here at school. Now Mrs. B has made some slides for us to enjoy on Seesaw with making letters with wooden pieces. And that is how we are going to do it. I hope you enjoyed making letters with wooden pieces today.